Now comes to the another important decision taken by the government in this budget. Again, this decision, it's having a direct impact with demonetization. Now see the housing sector. If you see the housing sector, in the last 3 years, there is a slowdown in relation to housing sector. The sale is very less. Okay, so along with when already there is a problem in the housing sector, after demonetization, it has made a big hit to the reality or housing sector. So the government have decided that it want to give a cushion to this housing sector, and by it decided that see, now try to understand regarding the housing sector. There are two, generally we can, people who are having an income above middle income and above. People who are having middle level income and above, obviously they will be having a own household. People living below, like lower middle income and low income people only will have the problem of housing. Okay, so there even though the government have a policy of affordable housing, the government have a, if you note things, two things will come together. Already one important current affair you have discussed in relation to a scheme what is called as Prime Minister's Awas Yojana. It's very important for you. We have to link it here. There is a linkage. Actually, it is complementing. Okay, now try to understand that. So, people with high income or above middle income, it is dealt here. But here I am talking about people who are in the low income and lower middle income people. In order to ensure that these household will be given, they will be having a affordable house, the government have taken a very important decision, that which we will be discussing, that affordable housing. Just try to understand that this concept. Again, the term, see, the meaning is there in the term affordable housing. What do you mean by affordable housing? Housing, you know, you want to make housing affordable. Affordable to whom? To the lower income and lower middle income people. Those who can't have a house, the government want to have house for them. So what it has done is, it has given a very important status, what is called as infrastructure status, to affordable housing. This is one of the major initiatives of this budget. Affordable housing has been given infrastructure status. Affordable housing has been given infrastructure status. Now we will discuss regarding, this is a current affair, affordable housing giving infrastructure status. Now before that, the government also, along with giving affordable housing and infrastructure status, it has complemented this by having, we know that we have a scheme what is called as the government have a very important scheme, that, what is that? Housing for all. Government have set a target, that government have a vision in relation to this, housing for all. By which year? By 2022. So vision of the government. So that every household in the country, means every every family will be having their own house. So that's the concept of, so for that we need near to 2 crore houses. So that as part of this Prime Minister Awas Yojana have set a goal, yes or no? By 2019 Prime Minister Awas Yojana says that the government will be building how much? Why? You studied for your prelims, for your class earlier test. It set a target. Okay, now what else said in this budget, what it has done is, it has allotted, in the last budget, it was 15,000 crore. In the last budget for Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, it was 15,000 crore. Now in this budget, it has doubled. That is, means increase in 50% increase, sorry, it has increased 50%. So by allotting 20,000 crore to Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, this budget have supplemented this affordable housing concept, or to make housing affordable to everyone. Now we'll come to the real picture. Just parallelly, I try to understand the background is housing sector already hit for the last 3 years, was majorly had a big impact because of demonetization. You know that almost all the realty sector transaction is through cash. Now there were a lot of black money is involved in this real estate sector. So government knows it. That's why the government have want to ensure that this thing will be cleaned. The realty sector is also cleaned along with political cleansing in relation to political funding, cleansing of political funding. Now come back. Now what is the advantage? What is the advantage by giving infrastructure status? By giving infrastructure status, what advantage this affordable housing will have? One thing is that, now what is this infrastructure? Again, that's why I told you, see your syllabus. Infrastructure is clearly mentioned in your syllabus. Like infrastructure, like you see the ports, railways, roads, airports, all these sectors they require investment for long term. The investment means you require fund, means the fund which you invest in these sectors, it will not give you return in 2 year or 3 year. So you require long term funding. So one of the importance of infrastructure is that it requires long term funding. This term is very important. What does it mean by long term funding? Funding for 15 years, 20 years or 30 years. So infrastructure requires long term funding, and you know that infrastructure also requires, so if it is an infrastructure, the bank will give them long term funding. Normally for an infrastructure like ports or roads, the bank will give them long term funding. Along with the long term funding, I told you earlier in my classes, I told you whenever the tenure of loans is increased, what will happen to the interest rate? Interest rate will increase. But for the infrastructure, it's different, since because of the government subsidy and the government support. Government incentives have been given to infrastructure to promote infrastructure in the country, that even though the funding will be for long term, the interest rate will also be low. That's very another factor. Interest rate will be lower. So lower interest rate, long term funding. This is the, if you ask me, the one of the most important advantage by giving infrastructure status is it can, now try to understand that it's not the government is going to build affordable houses. The government will build in a different way. There will be real estate developers, and we are talking from the real estate developers point of view. Real estate developer, to the real estate, I am talking the advantages to whom? The real estate developers who build affordable homes. You are getting the point? Now if you see the real estate developers, what they are mainly interested into? They are interested to develop. See, there you see Kochi itself, you have seen so many flats. Is it affordable to low income people? You see all the metros, okay, you see all the major urban centers, lot of flats have been built to cater to high income or above middle income. Not so these are, do you think that these flats are affordable flats? Yes or no? How can we 70 lakh or 50 lakh can be affordable for the poor people? It's not affordable for them. Okay, it's better to live in a rural area. In Kerala, that's very difficult to find a rural area. Okay, but then you have to go to migrate to North India, and then you will get an affordable land. You will get, then you have to build it. I'm just come this point. Try to understand that. So presently the real estate developers, because they know that, okay, if you build for these flats for the people in this category, they are sure that they can sell it off. But in the last 3 years, things have changed. Now there is the sale for the real estate which was built. You can see there are a lot of flats still not occupied. Okay, so already lot of fund is got stuck over there. So the government for these sectors, government is supporting in this budget, saying that okay, you sell it off. We are not going to support you anymore. We'll help you to sell this property by giving you some concessions, but not to build new this type of flats. But rather, why can't you invest in affordable houses? So if you are going to build a flat with affordable criteria, we'll discuss what are those affordable criteria. Means simple. If you are building a flat for low income groups, then we will provide you. You will get long term fund. You will get lower interest rate, and in some cases while we discussing, there are certain topics in money and banking sector which we'll be discussing, called as priority sector lending. That benefit you will get, we'll discuss that. So the bank will give you loan. So and then other incentives from the government like tax exemptions, tax concessions, like that. So lot of benefits are there. So what actually the government is doing? The government is promoting these real estate developers to go and build affordable homes or affordable flats by giving them these incentives. So if they are not, in the earlier case, real estate is not given infrastructure status. Like the big flats which you see now, they are not given infrastructure status. So in that case, they have to borrow at a higher interest rate. It will not be long term like this. And what is happening? You have seen that a lot of real estate developers have become bankrupt. Yes or no? Their expectation went, they thought that they can easily sell it off. They are not able to sell it. So this is one important thing. So try to understand that it is, so by giving affordable housing a real infrastructure status, what it is doing is that it is actually complementing the government vision of housing for all. Government vision of housing for all. So that once the affordable houses has been built, then people, see if you are getting a flat for 25 lakh or 20 lakh or 15 lakh, then it is affordable. And if you see, and you know that housing loan is comparatively low interest and you will get long tenure, then you can afford. Okay, so this is basically the core intention of the government by making affordable housing infrastructure status is that with the vision of making housing for all a reality by that year. Okay, and while giving so, it also made few changes it has been made. In the sense that, so along with infrastructure status, for affordable housing or for the real estate or for the property, now we see that how the government have incentivized the real estate sector, along with giving affordable housing infrastructure status. Now very important tax, we have discussed this tax in different places. Again this tax is coming back here under housing sector, what is called as capital gains tax. You know it? You know about capital gains tax? Now what this capital gains tax have done on immovable property? Immovable. So property can be movable and immovable, yes or no? Some properties can be moved, some properties can't be. Can you move the flat once you build here? Can you move it to that place? But there are certain property you can move. Okay, now to immovable property, the the government in this budget, have made some changes. So basically these changes will help the real estate developers. Now we will see that what changes have done in relation to capital gains tax for immovable property. Now try to understand that earlier, before this budget. Now first you need to understand what was the tax, capital gains tax on immovable property. First you need to understand that. Then we will see that how these changes will benefit the real estate developers. The changes is, now you know short term capital gains tax and long term capital gains tax. We discussed short term capital gains tax and long term capital gains tax in relation to shares. Now we are going to discuss in relation to immovable property. Now try to understand that earlier up to 3 years, means that is before 3 year, with if you are selling a property, you are buying a property and selling within 3 years, then what will happen to your, now think about, see we are giving an example of a house, it's an immovable property, yes or no? House is an immovable property. Now what is the capital gains tax? What is this capital gain? We are talking about capital gain, so what is this capital gain? Okay, we'll see it. Okay, tax on capital gain. Now we'll see it. What is this capital gain? You bought a house for 30 lakh. Okay, and you bought a house for 30 lakh. After 2 years, you are selling for 50 lakh. You brought a house for 30 lakh. After 2 years, you are selling for 50 lakh. What is the capital gain here? Capital gain is 20 lakh. So how you will calculate capital gain? The amount you purchased and the amount difference between the amount you sell and the amount you purchased. So difference here is 20 lakh. So capital gain here is 20 lakh. Now what? So the gain this 20 lakh will be added to your tax slab. See actually this, since it is a short term, yes or no? Since it is short term now, why? It is less than, see I am talking about before budget discussion, okay. So since it is short term, so for all the short term capital gains tax, what will happen is that income will be added to your own tax slab. You know tax slab? We discussed in the last class. Now suppose, so your tax slab, if you are having an income of 5 lakh, in that tax slab, if you are in the income of 10 lakh, in this tax slab. Now think about a person can you say that a person with a income of 5 lakh tax slab buying a property like this and selling it off? So anyway, what I am telling is, so if it is a short term capital gains tax, what the government will do is, government will add this capital gain to your income that year where you are sold, which year you are selling, it will be added to your income. So which slab you will be there, that slab will be added. So if you are a person with an income of 10 lakh and above, you will come under which slab? 30% slab. So your capital gains tax for short term is 30%. So to this profit of 20 lakh, so 20 lakh is your capital gain. To this 20 lakh, you have to pay 30% interest. So it will be how much? 6 lakh. 6 lakh you have to pay as capital gain. Will you pay? No. So what is easy method? Don't show it as 50 lakh. Show it as 32 lakh. Yes or no? This is happening in reality sector. Tell me anyone who is sitting here, if you know, who has done the transaction in the correct manner. You, there are few people will be there, but it's very rare seen. So this is it's a problem of this realty sector. So black money is involved. So one way or another, we or our family member have supported. So we can't. I'm very very careful when you talk about black money. If anybody asks you this question, when you purchase the property and what price you purchase the property, then you have to keep quiet. So, and just joking only, just understand, because the system is like that. The purchaser will say that, okay, I'll give you, okay, 50 lakh, 30 lakh, I'll give you check, 20 lakh, I'll give you cash. No, that also can't happen, because cash transaction have been restricted from this budget. So we'll discuss that. Anyway, now I want to explain this concept, okay. The short-term capital gains tax is 30%. Imagine like that. Now, if it is a long term means earlier, if you're selling after 3 years, you're selling in the 4th year. You get to the point? You're selling in the 4th year. Now again the same scenario. You're selling in the same, you think that you are selling the same property after 4 years, now it has become 60 lakh. 4th year means now it's a short term capital gain or long term capital gain? It is long term. What is your capital gain here? 30 lakh. Your capital gain is 30 lakh. Now if it is long term capital gain for immovable property, it is, that is after 3 year and above, it is 20%. It is 20%. Not only 20%, it will take into consideration indexation also. So two advantage, indexation, and so tax rate is low. If it is long term capital gains tax, earlier it is 30% for short term capital gain tax, or rather which is your taxable income slab. So normally people who are selling, normally we are saying that their income is above 10 lakh and above, so they will fall under 30% tax slab. Okay, so now you tell me which one is good for the real estate developer, short term capital gains tax or long term capital gains tax? Long term. Why? There is a drastic difference, it is only 20%. Not only that, indexation factor is there. What do you mean by indexation? Indexation happens into immovable property. Indexation means taking into consideration inflation. For example, the 30 lakh, when you purchase that property for 30 lakh, do you think that the 30 lakh 4 years back and 30 lakh now is the same? No. 30 lakh 4 years back and 30 lakh now is different. So in order to make sure that the 30 lakh what was there in the 4 year back, now what you have to take into consideration? You have to take into consideration the inflation. Then you will understand that no, the 30 lakh now have become after 4 years, now it is 35 lakh. Imagine like that. So after, so 30 lakh which you purchased, by taking into consideration, now it is 35 lakh. Now after index, so if indexation is considered after 4 years, now it is 35 lakh. To the indexation only this 20% tax will come. So not to the 30 lakh, but to 25 lakh only, this 20% tax you have to pay. Now tell me, is it good or not? So two advantage, one is lesser tax, second is indexation is not considered under in short term capital gains tax. First of all, tax is high, no indexation also. For short term capital gains tax, no indexation is considered. Now what the union budget have done in relation to immovable property? What it has done is, it has reduced the year from 3 year to, now the year is 3 year, now it is 2 year. Now the union budget have reduced this year to from See, sometimes in UPSC will do like this also. Instead of 2 years, they will give you, instead of 3 years, they will give you 36 months. You know that na, both the same. See, actually in some news you will read up to 36 months. It's same na, 36 months means 3 years. So from 36 months, it has reduced to 24 months, that is 2 years. So this is another initiative taken by the government. Now, is it good for the realty sector? Yes, because now earlier you will get the indexation benefit and 20% tax benefit only after 3 years. Now 1 year ahead you will get it. So that initiative the government the budget have done it. Another thing is in relation to, I told you now, what are affordable homes? Affordable homes are decided with different criteria, but this budget talks about one important criteria. In relation to, it said that area has been given. Okay, by giving an area, and it has changed the definition while calculating area. That it has used this word, build up area and carpet area. While giving definition to affordable homes, earlier the government used to consider build up area. Now it is carpet area. See, again in the newspaper you will see all these terms. Now I will first explain carpet area, very simple. Where you can put the carpet, the area which you can put the carpet, that is carpet area. Now can you put carpet in the wall? Will you put carpet in the balcony? No. So what is build up area? Build up area includes the carpet area, the walls area, there will be lot of walls, wall area and the balcony, that is build up area. Okay. Now earlier when the government takes the area, affordable homes area, earlier it was build up area. Now it is carpet area. Now tell me, so you can have a much more, see the home size will increase. Yes or no? When the government is taking into consideration carpet area, the size of the home will increase or not? Yes. Carpet area is much more than, see actually what the government have done is, this square meter, 30 square meter, this classification has been given now. For now it is carpet area, this 30 square meter and 60 square meter are the definitions only for carpet area, but for two areas. For metros, in metro cities 30 square meter carpet area, metros, 4 main metros like Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai and Delhi, 4 metros, affordable homes are with a carpet area of 30 square meter, and other areas, rest of the areas, it is 60 square meter. Already criticism have started. People started complaining, see what is the difference between Chennai and Bangalore? Okay, so maybe the government, see actually the technicalities will come. The government may include everyone, like even Bangalore also in that category. So it's technicality, we don't go into that area, because it's, see for you, what is important is that, what more than that, this is very important. 30 square meter or 60 square meter, that is not important, but try to understand that it is have an idea that it's too different. For metros it is different, and for other areas it is different. So you know that metro is very costly, so that the area in metro will be less. In other areas it is compared to metros, with the same money you can buy a much more. Can you buy a flat in Mumbai with the same amount you sell a flat here in Kochi, and can you go and buy a flat in Mumbai? No, but reverse can happen. With Mumbai flat you can buy 3 in, and that's the difference, na? The property price is like that. Okay, so these are the changes, these are the major changes. There are other things are there are other features are there, but these, if you ask me, these are the major changes. One is by giving them an infrastructure status, by changing the definition, by bringing changes in the capital gains tax, especially to immovable property, and again to real estate developers. For real estate developers, for affordable housing, if you are doing affordable housing, the government have set a target to complete a project. Earlier the time to complete a project was 3 years. Time of completion, then only the benefit you will get. Now that have been increased. For the real estate developers, the time to complete an affordable housing project have been increased to 3 to 5 years. So that's good for them. They'll get time. Earlier the time limit to complete the project was 3 years. So lot of incentives have been given in this budget for real estate developers, so that along with this Prime Minister PM Awas Yojana, that housing sector have got a boost in this budget 2017-18, and try to understand the background. The demonetization have impacted the sector in a much difficult. Okay, so just link it. So there are other features will be there which will I'll give you in the study material, but keep this in these points as a core point. Okay, then you can easily answer it.